So when we're looking at the changes for FRM Part 2 curriculum for the year 2022, as always, I've always mentioned that the current issue subject is where we see most of the changes, and that is what has happened this year. Particularly when I see the FRM Part 1 and Part 2, both the curriculums, other than the current issue subject, we haven't seen much of changes. So even when I'm looking at the Part 2 curriculum, there are barely any changes apart from the entire subject of current issues. So that is why I always recommend students that when you're starting preparing early and the syllabus is not yet out, May batch students generally have this challenge and November batch generally do not have a problem because the syllabus throughout the year is the same. So I always tell them that except current issues, you start studying, and only current issues are supposed to be touched after the syllabus has been released and the new books and everything is out. So let's just go through it very quickly. So summary wise, the changes are barely any over here if you notice. So there are barely any changes with the curriculum. The new and the deleted portion is totally around the current issue subject. So let's see. So around the subject weightage is also somewhere close to that 10% or so. So a 6%, 7% change in the entire curriculum is totally because of current issues. So let's just see. So when I'm looking at the new chapters, there are 2 new chapters added apart from current issues. So let me first circle with the entire current issues part. So when I'm looking at the new chapters, these are the chapters added in current issues, and these entire chapters is deleted. All these chapters have been deleted from current issue subject. So the portion that I have marked over here that you can see on the screen, except for one particular chapter, this order is a little different. I'll get it corrected, the order in which the deleted chapters are there, except for this chapter, building the UK financial sector's operational resilience. Earlier it was very specific when you're looking at the operational resilience to UK. Now they have changed and added a new chapter over here. Rather, I would call it replaced this chapter totally with operational resilience over here. So there are 2 chapters on operational resilience added over here, if you can notice, and this particular chapter has been removed. So this is one replacement that has happened. So this is in the operational resilience part, this change, and apart from that, the entire, as I always mention, the entire current issues has been replaced. So a few chapters are same, like Liber transition is there, but then Liber transition case studies for navigating is added. So there is a Liber chapter that was there earlier also in current issues. It's a very important aspect when you're looking at the Liber transition that has been going on in 2021-22 time frame in the last couple of years. So this is very, very important, and this new chapter has been added over here. Other than that, of course, COVID becomes very important aspect over here. There was a chapter of climate change, but that has been replaced over here. So again, digital currency, fintech, COVID updates, Liber transition, these have been the theme for the last 2 or 3 years with respect to the current issues subject. So that is what we are seeing over here. So the current issues, the entire new chapter replacement is current issues, except for just the operational resilience part. Now, when I'm looking at the changes aspect over here, if you notice, there is barely one LOS added in 3 or 4 chapters, and a couple of chapters there is a deletion. A small part of deletion is there. So when you're looking at the chapter in securitization, credit score, future value, etc., these are in the current credit risk subject, and banking conduct operational risk subject, and even this one is operational risk. So barely, very, very minor changes, like barely half a page, 1 page kind of addition to these 4-5 chapters. That is broadly all the change that you have with respect to the Part 2 curriculum. In the next pages, this was just the summary. A chapter-wise detail has been given. There could be an LOS which has a modification. There could be a new one. So the details on a chapter-wise basis have been given over here. And the new chapters and the deleted chapters have been marked. So the chapter number from the previous curriculum, the ones that are deleted, obviously we don't have a new chapter number for it, so the previous chapter numbers have been provided. And then an LOS wise mapping has also been provided. What was the LOS number for 2022 versus 21? Of course, the important aspect, what you'll have to go through over here is going to be with the changes. So wherever there are changes, it's color coded. This is what you need to see. LOS reworded basically is that the LOS, the learning outcome, is more or less the same. It is just a little bit of changes that you would see, as in the language of the LOS, the heading of this thing has been changed. So this, I would assume that the content is going to be 99% same. So maybe there is no change in this particular content when you're looking at LOS reworded. But here it is, this LOS has been added newly over here. So this particular part, obviously once we have the books released and once we have the classes started, the moment the books are released, we'll be able to cover these new portions and share it with all the past students also, once it's covered in the live classes. Comfortable? So this is all the changes, and I'll get the link and all. I'll get obviously this lecture on YouTube, and I'll get the link and everything posted on that description thing below. Alright, so this is the changes. So as usual, as with every year, we've just got current issues changed and very minimal. So the other changes are also generally there every year, but this year I see that they've barely done any kind of change. So don't worry, study hard, work well, and yes, we have about 100 chapters, so we need to study and make sure you follow all the instructions and everything provided as to with respect to retention and everything, because we've got quite a content coming up to cover. Right? All right. Thank you.